Let's start using the formula we developed in the last podcast. And we looked at a question back then, but now I want to look at another question. Question number 2, and check this out. It says, for the following series. Well, what series? Oh, there it is. Well, that's not a series. That's a sequence. Let's turn it into a series by going -1, +1, +3, +5, +7, plus, and it goes on forever, because now we see that this, in fact, becomes an infinite series. Aha, it goes on forever. Well, it says first, let's find the 126th term. Wait a second. All of these brand new formulas that I have here are formulas to determine the sum. It's not to determine a term. Wait a second. Don't I have a formula that I can use to find a term? Of course we do. Tn equals to T1 plus n minus 1 times d. Of course we have a formula that helps us work this out. Okay, perfect. Let's use it then. Tn, well, that's now T126 because I'm trying to find the 126th term. P1 works out to be -1. Excellent, there it is, the first term. Plus n. Oh, well, that's easy because the n's here always match, so that means n is 126. Oh, well, that's easy enough, -1. D, okay, we don't have d. Ah, rats, so that means we've got to figure d out. Well, d is simple because remember, this is arithmetic. Pick a number, there it is. Subtract the term in front of it, subtract the 3, there's your d. Done. There's your common difference right there. Your d is 2. Ta-da! Look at that. Now, work this out. Okay, -1 plus. This is 125 times 2. 125 times 2, if I'm not mistaken, is 250. 250 plus the -1, guess what? 249. That is term 126. Woohoo! So, don't forget the formulas that you had in the previous unit, okay? In the previous notes. Don't forget that Tn formula. It's going to help you find some terms. Now, check this out now. How is this going to help us here? Well, it says determine the sum of the 126 terms. Oh, well, excellent. Let's go to our weapons of math destruction. Here they are. There's our 2 sum formulas, and you tell me which one you would use. Look at the first one. Do we have the first term? Yes. Do we have n? Yes. Do we have d? Yes. We could actually use this formula, right? But I want to look at the other formula as well. Check this out. Do we have T1? Well, yes, we do. Do we have Tn? Well, now we found it. It's 249. So you know what? I think this formula would be a lot easier to use. Check it out. We want the sum of 126 terms. This tells you that these n's, of course, this one and this one, always match. So 126 over 2 times T1. Well, what's T1? Oh, -1 plus, what's Tn? Well, I just figured that out. It's right here, 249. Oh, 249 it is. Okay. So all we have to do now is we just have to add this up and multiply. Okay, 126 over 2 times -1 and 249, that works out to be 248. And all you got to do now is put this in our handy dandy little calculator, crank the button, and find out an answer. So I got my calculator right here, and let's take a look at this. Okay, first things first. I'm going to multiply this, but you know what? I need to keep this in a bracket. If I multiply this out, I can always go 126 divided by 2, and some people can do that in their heads really quickly. Of course, that's 63. But let's see, it's a big complicated number that you can't do. So you know what? Just put it in brackets. 126 divided by 2 in brackets, just like you see it there, times that by 248, and look at the value that you're going to get here. Let's hit enter. Enter. You're going to get 15,624. That's the sum of 126 digits. 15,624. 15,624 is your sum of 126 digits. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, wait a second. Why didn't you use this first formula? Well, I want to prove to you that that first formula actually works as well. Okay, let's use it. All right, so here we go. First things first, write down all the things you know. You want the sum of 126 terms. Okay, you want 126 over 2. There it is. 2 T1s. Do you remember what T1 was? Neither do I. So let's go back. Oh, it's minus 1. Aha. Okay, so 2 times minus 1 plus n. Well, n is 126 minus 1 times d. Do you remember d? No, neither do I. D, oh, d is 2. Good thing we keep everything written down and in front of us. Excellent. So cleaning this up. 126 over 2 again, right? 2 times minus 1 is minus 2 plus, okay, 126 minus 1 is 125 times 2. Isn't that 250? I think it's 250, isn't it? Yeah, for sure. Okay, 126 over 2 minus 2 times 250, that looks like 248. And then we're going to multiply it. Well, wait a second. They match. Guess what? You're going to get 15,624 all over again. Both of them work out to be exactly the same numbers. And of course they should. Think about it. There are two formulas to give you exactly the same thing. All right. We're doing great so far. Now, let's keep on going here. Now, we're going to have to figure out something called a general formula for this series. Okay, how do we figure out a general formula for this? Real simple. I'm going to just do and clear up some of this room here because I need some of this room for writing things out. I want to show you how this works. I'm going to pick the easier of the two formulas. I'm going to pick this one down here. I'm going to pick it up for a reason because, you know what? It's just easy to work with. So we want Sn, so that means n stays where it is. We don't know how many terms we have now in our general formula. General formula means it works for all terms. I'm going to take T1. T1, of course, is minus 1. And I'm going to add Tn to it, which we don't know what the formula is for that. We have no idea what term n is unless I give you this n, right? So that's your formula. That's your general formula, and that's actually how it's used. That's it. You can't do a whole heck of a lot with that than that. Okay? Now, you can prove this formula just popping in the numbers. Again, you'd have to put in 126 here. Boom. That would have to be 126 here. But here's the drawback. You don't know Tn. So there you go, using this formula again, blah, blah, blah. So this may not necessarily be the nicest way to figure out the formula. Here's another thing that you can look at. Look at this formula then. Okay, so you might have to actually look at the more difficult formula to work with. So, all right, let's use it. Sn, there's your general formula, n over 2, right? 2 times T1, 2 times minus 1, plus n minus 1, we don't know, but we do know d to be 2, right? These are all the values that you used previously. Let's see if this gives us a prettier looking formula. Let's check it out. So our Sn general formula is still going to be n over 2. There's 2 times minus 1. There's minus 2 plus. Okay, so we can distribute this. This will give us plus 2n minus 2. Check this out. It gives us a much prettier formula. Look at the formula. Sn equals to n over 2. Minus 2 and minus 2 gives you minus 4. So you got 2n minus 4. There's the general formula. Much, much nicer where you don't have to figure out any terms. All you need to do is know n. Let's prove that we get the same answer here for S126, which was, here, I'll erase this so you can actually see it. Our formula was actually, or our solution was actually 15,624. Let's see if this works. Check it out. I'm going to go S126 equals to 126 over 2, right? 2 times 126 minus 4. And let's see if we get this 15,624 again. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the calculator. Move it right over here. adjust this so we can actually see it a little bit better. Okay? Oh boy, this is going to be tough. Okay. Patience. There it is. Okay. So here we go. Let's plug in these numbers and see what we get. So we got 126 over 2. Okay? Same as before. Brackets. 126 divided by 2. Brackets. We're going to multiply this now, right, by what? Think about it. 2 times 126 minus 4. Okay? Put a bracket up. 2 times 126 minus 4. Let's see if this gives us exactly the same answer. Bang, it does. Oh my goodness, it works beautifully. The two answers are exactly the same. So this works out to be 15, 624. This one, doing all of the formulas, works out to be 15, 624. This ends up being our general formula that we need in order to solve this. And most importantly, that's only the general formula for this specific sequence. You get a new sequence, guess what? You got to figure out a new general formula.